What strategy did you use to help your child with toilet learning, also known as potty training? Comment your answer below. Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today for Family Matters. I'm Nicole with La Cloche Early On Child and Family Center. Thanks so much for joining me today. Today we're talking about toilet learning. We previously knew this as toilet training. However, they did change the name recently to incorporate the learning aspect. So instead of us training our children to use the toilet, it's more about children being able to recognize the sensations of when they need to actually use the toilet. So we've changed the name to toilet learning. So a lot of parents ask, when should my child start to use the toilet, or when should they be potty trained or toilet learning happen? And the answer is there's no technical age. Some children start as early as about 18 months. Other children take up until they're almost 4 years old to really be toilet trained, and this is just daytime training. Nighttime training can often come even later than 4 years of age, just because every child sleeps differently, and some people are heavier sleepers and they don't wake up when their body tells them that they have to use the bathroom. So that's not uncommon for sure. Most children though will be toilet trained around the 2.5 to 3.5 mark. However, again, some children take up to the 4 years to become fully toilet trained. So how do you help your child learn what it's like to go to the potty, and how do you know they're ready? So the biggest things is when they start to show signs that they might be ready. So maybe they're interested in what you're doing in the bathroom, or they're telling you that they've had a bowel movement or that they've peed. These are great starter signs. These are signs where you might want to introduce a potty or a potty seat for your toilet with a stool so that they're able to climb up and climb down by themselves. And encourage them to try and sit on it and see what it feels like, but don't expect them to start using it right away. Have it available, and again, encourage but don't fight them. If they don't want to do it, then don't make them. If you make it into a power struggle, chances are it's going to become a bigger issue. So once you feel like your child is going longer with drier periods in their diaper, then you know that they might be able to hold their urine for longer. So again, introducing potty at a regular time. So maybe once they wake up in the morning, before meal times or after meal times, before a bath, before bedtime, having these routine times will help the child's body cue them to let them know that they're ready to use the toilet. Another great idea as well is to read a story while they're sitting on the toilet, or give them a book to look at. It helps calm them a little bit, because a lot of times young children, especially if they're very active, they sit and they say, oh, nothing's happening, and they want to jump up, which might lead to them having an accident a little bit down the road. So if they give them something to let them sit for a couple minutes, they don't need to be there forever, but just give them something to help them calm and stay in one place for a little more than 10 seconds will be very helpful. So once your child you feel is ready to start wearing underwear, you need to expect there will be accidents. This is a natural part of the learning process, and until the children really understand those sensations, there's going to be accidents. And even after they know that they have to use the bathroom, you might still get accidents, especially if they're in an engaging activity. Sometimes if they're watching television, or they're playing a game, or they're really interested in something, they don't want to stop to use the bathroom. So this is where we as parents, if we recognize signs of the potty dance, or if they're grabbing at their genitals, crossing their legs, those kind of things are really good signs that you might want to encourage a pause in the play and to try using the toilet. But again, expect mistakes. Don't get angry if they do have an accident. Just help them clean up and try again. Now, there are a couple things that you do need to know, is that it is common, again, for children to have accidents even at school, but usually when they go to school, they are expected to be potty trained or to be have the toilet learning in place. And if they are not fully trained, daytime trained, by the time they're 4, you might want to talk to their doctor and just talk about some different strategies and have them checked over just to be sure that it's not a medical issue. Another thing you might want to mention to your doctor or to talk to your doctor about is if your child was fully trained and had very few to no accidents for a period of 6 months or longer, and then all of a sudden started having regular accidents again. This could be a sign that they might have something going on that might be more medical. However, it is common too for some children to regress if they are under stressful situations, such as moving to a new household, introduction of a new sibling, or anything like that. Another reason you should probably talk to your family doctor is if there's any rash or redness around the vagina or penis, if there's a foul smell or cloudy urine, or they complain obviously of discomfort or pain, or they're having to pee really often. This could be indicative of a UTI, and you definitely want to get that checked out sooner than later. A couple things we don't often think about, or sometimes might not think about, is wiping. So a lot of times when our children are learning how to use the toilet, parents will wipe for them, which is absolutely fine. However, again, when they do start school, they will be expected to wipe themselves. So teaching them the proper way to wipe, especially for girls, wiping front to back, is important. And teaching your children how to properly wash their hands after using the bathroom. So this is something that, again, sometimes we gloss over when we're potty training because we're on the toilet so often, but it is a really important part of the routine. So making sure that your children know how to wipe and know how to properly wash their hands after using the bathroom. If your child does not want to have a bowel movement on the toilet or potty, this is common. It can be scary, and sometimes, especially if their feet aren't touching the stool or the floor, it is hard to have a bowel movement with your feet dangling. So they do recommend, if your child has not had a bowel movement and they feel more comfortable pooping in a diaper, to give them a diaper to poop in, because you do not want them to get constipated, because that will just further the uncomfortableness of trying to have a bowel movement on the toilet. If that's the case and it doesn't seem to resolve itself after a few weeks, definitely talk to your family doctor about how to encourage the pooping on the toilet. So some tips for success. Make sure that you have a potty seat or a potty that children can touch the floor or touch the stool that they're using. This will help them feel more comfortable and more balanced. They need to be able to sit down and stand up off of the potty or off of the toilet by themselves. They also need to be able to pull down their own pants and pull them back up. So this is really important because a lot of times we put these really cute outfits on them, not thinking that they're going to have a difficult time taking this off by themselves or putting it back on by themselves. So making sure that they can kind of dress themselves and giving them clothes that are easy to take off or put on. I've known parents even sometimes will just do run around in underwear or run around naked to help encourage that potty training. However, once you start school or you're out in public, that's not always an option. It's also really common for boys to learn sitting down on the toilet as opposed to standing up. Again, every child is a bit different, but depending on the sensations, they may not be able to differentiate between having to poop or having to pee. You might end up with a little bit of an accident if they're learning while standing. Big thing is if you give toilet learning a try, and your child is having multiple accidents even after days of trying to adjust to a routine, and to encourage them to go, don't be disappointed or upset. They might just not be ready. If that's the case, you can choose to switch back to diapers, or even maybe try pull-ups if that's something that you would like to wait, and then wait another 3-4 months and see if you can try it again. Sometimes children, you think they might be ready, but they might not just be there yet, and that's okay.